In today's Warcrow topic, we are going to be talking about Morgane of Jauffret, who is a character unit that is part of the Feudum faction in Warcrow. So Morgane is one of the Feudum's most powerful priestesses of Selas, which is the White Moon goddess, and she belonged to the Order of Selas. And the reason I say belongs or belonged is because she decided to leave the monastery and become a fierce inquisitor. So I don't necessarily know if that means she left the order, or she's in the order but she's out of the monastery. Anyway, she is renowned across the feudum for the work she does as an inquisitor, and she is one of their greatest inquisitors. She has intervened in important executions and key conflicts for the feudum throughout her time as an inquisitor, and has become somewhat of a legend, with tales and myths being spun about her. Although there really isn't much, they tell these legends and myths, but there's not really a lot of information about Morgane's past. So they're, as always, they're becoming mythic. She is also good at foretelling the rhythm of the fog, or when and where it will kind of ebb and flow, which can be risky. We've kind of talked about this already throughout all these videos, but the fog is tricky, right? You don't want to mess with it because it can mess with your mind, it can mess with your psyche, your physiology, your body. It's just nasty. However, she is protected from her work with the fog, it says, due to her inability to know fear. So I guess because of the horrors of the fog, right, we've talked about how it can twist people's minds and stuff, but she's well studied and no object or monster can scare her. She's been around the block. She knows, what horrors await. And even if there are new ones, she's not intimidated by them, which is kind of cool. She still does operate out of the monastery located in Alvinen. Anyway, she's working out of a monastery. And she works with the High Priestess, the Grand Magister, and the Sempiternus. We talked about the Sempiternus a little bit in the Mace Escort videos. You can check that out. She is quite cold when working with the Sempiternus. As you read the lore on the feudum, you kind of start to see that the Order of Losna kind of works well with the Sempiternus, because that's his order. But then the Order of Selas kind of opposes it. It really does give me kind of like an Emperor Palpatine, Padme kind of shtick, where you kind of have this female leader, High Priestess Varana, versus the Sempiternus. And so I'm curious. That's one of the lore things I'm the most interested in, is seeing kind of how that plays out, their kind of battle, because the Sempiternus is starting to make big moves. Aside from kind of her work life, she is deeply connected to Guido Colum, who is a well-traveled monk. He acts actually as the key narrator to readers in the Warcrow lorebook. So as you read about the different factions, and even right off in the beginning, he has a whole explanation of the pilgrimages and paths you can take around Warcrow, Lindworm, and he has all these little snippets and excerpts throughout the lorebook talking to you. And their relationship is thought to be more than just platonic. Morgane wears a large brooch of Morganite that Colum has brought her, and he acquired it on his pilgrimage along the Path of Stars, which is one of the first pages in the lore book, but it's one of kind of the holy pilgrimages people who worship the priestesses can take. It goes all the way down to kind of the southern part of the map we have right now of Lindworm, which is in hegemony territory, but there are ancient ruins that are important to the feudum's faith down there, so people go down there and go back up. Morgane hopes to one day be accepted into the bosom of the goddess as a devout practitioner and protector of the faith. And until that day comes, she will dispense justice on the feudum's enemies and sow hope in the hearts of its nobility. So why is Morgane of Jauffret cool? Well, one, she's just a character who's good at her job and doesn't mess around. She doesn't play games. I think she's just kind of really cool. She knows what her goal is and what she needs to do to achieve it. And so just kind of that alone is really fun in a character. You have a lot of these types of characters, but I don't know. For me, Morgane really kind of stands out in this aspect. She's not one of the top tier for me, but she has one of my absolute favorite designs in the whole game. Top tier for me would have to do, I'll talk about these characters later, but it's I have to like their design, I have to like their gameplay, I have to like their lore, and I like a lot of stuff about Morgane, but she's not top tier for me. But she is really cool. She is one of my favorite designs in the entirety of the game. It was really cool with her, and then I talked about it with the breath as well. We hadn't really seen these two characters before, so they were kind of, for me at least, they were kind of a nice surprise as the spellcasters in the Song of the Dormant box. And her pose is cool. It's simple yet intimidating, and invokes kind of this power and confidence she has. She's pointing her sword at her foe, and she's got those they almost look like daggers in front of her face. She's got the hood. She, of course, if you notice, like I mentioned in the lore, she has that brooch right on her chest. It's this lavender colored brooch. she has a breastplate. She's just a cool character, and she's a thin character, right? She has more of a feminine figure character, a thinner frame, but I think just oozes this power and confidence, and it really does show, like how it says in the lore, that she knows what she's doing. She knows what's up, and she's not about to mess around, and she's not afraid. And the model is also an absolute dream to paint. It was one of my favorites to paint. You can check it out on my Instagram in the link tree below, where I showcase all of the models for Warcrow that I paint, as well as hopefully some other games models as I get into them, if I find anything that's cool. And with that, this lore video about Morgane of Jauffret comes to an end. Don't forget to follow this channel to get more Warcrow lore, and if you survive the fog, I'll see you in the next video.